It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the movies of May 14th, 1993. Three movies to look at today, and this should be a pretty quick one because it's another week where I haven't seen any of these movies, so I'm just going off of the trailer as I usually do on these types of shows. And we're going to start it off with this first movie that we have here, and it's Mario Van Peebles' follow-up to New Jack City, the Western Posse. So of note here, this is actually the first movie released by Gramercy Pictures, who would later go on to become Focus Features almost 30 years later. And as I said, it's Mario Van Peebles' follow-up to New Jack City, but kind of like a lot of movies that for first-time directors after when they make their second film, it's one of those movies where I think the style is there, it's style over substance pretty much. The script overall is not that interesting. It is a very good idea to do like a modern western with these African Americans playing the cowboys in this particular case. You got Steve, and you also have you got Big Daddy Kane, Charles Lane, Tiny Lister, Tone Loc, Blair Underwood, Mario Van Peebles, Stephen Baldwin's also in here, Billy Zane, Sally Richardson from Gargoyles, and why can't I remember where else she was in now? Movies like A Low Down Dirty Shame, shows like Eureka. I remember her mostly as the voice of Elena, I think, from Gargoyles. Now, I haven't seen Gargoyles in a while, so I don't really remember the name off the top of my head, but I do remember she was the voice of the girl in the show. I can't remember who it was now, but like I said before, Isaac Hayes is in here, Blair Underwood, Reginald Johnson, Pam Grier, Nipsey Russell, Aaron Neville, Reginald Hudlin, Stephen J. Cannell, Faison Love, just a lot of names in this movie, and it looks like a good movie. It looks like a movie that has a nice visual look to it, but from what I've read about it and from the fact that this is how these types of movies go, where you have the second film from a really promising director, most of the time it doesn't usually end up as good as the original film, and I think this movie kind of was probably one of those cases where it does look pretty nice. It looks visually impressive, but as far as the story goes, I think it doesn't look like it does anything new or anything spectacular in any way. But I mean, who knows? Maybe there is something here that I'm missing here. But I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it. It doesn't live up. It's certainly from what I've heard about it, it doesn't sound like it lives up to the same praise as something like New Jack City does. But like I said, who knows? Maybe there is actually something here that I'm missing. But only way I'm going to find out is to watch it someday, and I'm going to watch it. I will watch it at some point, but it's not something I'm going to rush out to see right away. But just going off of that trailer, it looks like it could be good, but it is one of those movies that sounds like it's style over substance, pretty much. So that's pretty much all I got for this one. So let's go ahead and move on to the next movie that we have here, and that is Neil Simon's Lost in Yonkers. So, like I said, this is based off of Neil Simon's Pulitzer Prize-winning play that came out 2 years prior to this. And Martha Coolidge is a name that's very familiar. Like, she's done some great movies. She's the one that did Valley Girl. She also did stuff that we've talked about, Rambling Rose, Crazy in Love. She would later go on to do stuff like Out to Sea, which I think is one of the more underrated Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau movies. So she has some decent movies to her name to it. And this movie's got a pretty good cast to it. Richard Dreyfuss, Mercedes Ruehl. This looks like it's kind of one of those great leading breakout roles for Mercedes Ruehl after she won the Oscar for The Fisher King. Was it The Fisher King? Yeah, it was The Fisher King. I'm thinking of Lorraine Bracco from Goodfellas, but no, she won the Oscar for The Fisher King, and I mean, it looks like a movie where she really gets a chance to shine here, and she definitely has a lot of charisma in this trailer here and a lot of good personality. I mean, it looks like it could be pretty funny. It looks like a movie that's right up my alley. Again, something I can't really talk about all that much because I haven't seen it, but it definitely shows a lot of promise from that trailer alone. So that's Lost in Yonkers. So let's go ahead and move on to the last movie that we have here, and that is Excessive Force. When the Karate Kid Part 3 is your highlight, that's pretty depressing. And I mean, in this movie, you look at it and it's just like, okay, this is just like every other action movie that came out at the time, except This guy has no charisma whatsoever. Thomas Ian Griffin really does not have any charisma at all as an action star compared to people like Jean-Claude Van Damme or Schwarzenegger or Stallone or Willis. And this trailer did not look impressive at all, even though it's got a pretty good supporting cast. Lance Henriksen, James Earl Jones, Tony Todd, Ian Gomez, Burt Young. But there's nothing that looks exciting about this movie at all. This looks like a movie that could have easily... It's another one of those movies that could be an easy made-for-TV movie of the week, like something you'd see on NBC or CBS on a Tuesday night. But someone said put it on the big screen, and whoever did that should be fired, because this does not look like a movie that's worthy of a big screen like this. So, that's all I got on that one. That's excessive force, so there you go. And so on that note, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies. Next time we meet, we'll jump into May 21st with a couple of notable movies, including Sharon Stone, William Baldwin, and Tom Berenger in the erotic thriller Sliver, the sequel to Hot Shots Part 2, and also Carnosaur, which is notable for another famous Siskel and Ebert review, and was notable for coming out a couple of weeks before another big dinosaur movie that was coming out this summer, but we'll delve into all of that on the next episode. But until then, thank you very much for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the playlist on the next page, check out the previous episode, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another episode. So thank you for watching, I'll see you next time, and until then, as always, take care.